the idea behind the upcoming panel is to lay out a little bit one of the big challenges that we saw popping up, and I think that Jelena pointed out very clearly in the in her panel this morning and also yesterday, that for a lot of the interesting stuff and applications that we've seen, it is not very clear in certain regards what return of investment can be. On the other hand, as Danilo pointed out, and I think he might later also on stage that we talk a little bit about it, that there are clear indications that this is useful to companies and is helping to cut costs and create more efficiencies. The idea behind it is that a lot of the tools that we've seen in terms of generative AI, in terms of analytical AI, that some of the business models behind it are not super clear. And not only in regard to how do you get a business model, a financial model established with this, but also in what kind of environment these thoughts take place. I'm super happy to welcome back on stage Elena Lyubovskaya, writer and creator of, for example, Pauline on Disney Plus and City of Blood coming up on Disney Plus shortly. And everybody who's not been here yesterday evening, I'm still mentioning it, part of the Netflix Accelerator recently. Very happy to have you here. And David, your business partner in this venture that you're having together. A little bit more on this in a second. I'm super happy that we have here Luca Tisler. He's a creator in AI. He's a researcher and educator. And I was first in contact with Luca through his work that he does on LinkedIn, which is interesting because it is a great distributor of knowledge, and especially when it comes to AI experimentation, trying out workflows, trying to bring people together around this topic. He's the co-founder of Lighthouse AI Academy, which specializes in teaching creatives and professionals from other fields how and where certain workflows, certain pipelines, certain usages are interesting. Luca also worked on a couple of projects. For example, one, I think it's the first AI-generated advertisement that was played out in Slovenia. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. And then I'm super happy to have Remy here. I'm always butchering your last name. We know each other so long, so I'm really feeling. Tereshkiewicz? Tereshkiewicz. I'm apologies. Remy worked for Lagardère Studios, for Mediavan, for a lot of big media companies out there. And I think we first met through your work on Beta Series, which you talk a little bit about, where you use algorithmic analytics of patterns, of content patterns, to help producers to leverage their ideas better towards streamers and broadcasters. I think one of the things that I want to start a little bit, because we only teased it yesterday, is the project that Elena and David are working on, and which I teased as an interactive escape room. I find it so interesting because when looking at how creatives and writers and creators are finding new ways how to work with generative AI, it was something that I definitely haven't seen before. And you recently won an award for your concept at the Onassis Foundation. And as far as I understood, you now get studio time in New York and get a mentor with someone. I unfortunately worry bad with names. Marco Costa, yeah.
You need to marry too.
Yeah, who did, for example, The Golden Key, one of the premiered AI experiences that has been shown at South by Southwest recently, and was creating quite a stir there in terms of what's possible, in terms of creating interactive art projects, media installations in that field. So without any further ado, I think I would give over to you to maybe explain a little bit the idea behind it, and maybe we can walk through it together if that's okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Like, first of all, just to connect, because what you will see is not a film, right? Just to connect it to where we're coming from. Why are we at all like taking time from writing, producing TV series into doing this? That's partially because of my daughter, who was at 12, I think, when I started noticing that she doesn't really watch TV series.
Have you ever experienced any of the following?
Sorry, I'm too.
Yeah, that's about. Yeah, so anyways, about like even before the AI emergence, we started feeling a bit nervous. Like, you know, there is peak TV down now, but like what is going to be in 10 years? What kind of content are younger people going to consume? And as I was observing my daughter, it was clear, yeah, it doesn't have to be 15 episodes of linear hour-long stuff. There is stuff that's interactive, but it's not just games. That like there is weird things happening in spaces like Roblox or Minecraft. And I felt like, okay, Elena, do you want to retire like in 5 years? Maybe it's too early. So what are you going to do? And that's like one place we're coming from. The other place we're coming from is that we are both geeks. And, you know, already 20 years ago, some writers in this space, which is called cyberpunk, have discussed this crazy type of content. Like, you know, it's Orient Express, but you as a viewer are one of the characters, and there is a new killer every time. You know, and there are some actors and some AI participants. You watch it, but you participate in it. And it's all literature. But when AI emerged, we understood this might be true. You know, this will be the Netflix series of the future. And like, we couldn't do the whole AI powered TV series, but we decided to start small and to start with the central, like maybe central unit, technological creative unit behind this kind of new formats of storytelling that AI is enabling, which is, you know, including making it about your audience member. Not making it like, as David, how do you like to say it? Always, I love this about art. Yeah.
So we wanted to do something that humans can't do. We don't want to replace humans by AI. We want to do something that only AI can do, and that thing is in life we never see people's minds. We just see their forehead. And we wanted to do a project where we can actually see people's minds in a safe way, because they share what they want to share. And of course, as it was said before, it's biased. It's one AI's view, and an AI that is trained based on contemporary artists that have a certain view of the world. So nobody's saying this is ultimate truth. That was the first thing we wanted to do something that only AI can do. And the second thing is what Elena was saying, is that traditionally art has enriched us indirectly. We look at somebody else, either a character in fiction or even a documentary, and they live through something, an experience of life. We identify what's in us in that character, and we learn and are enriched, entertained through it. And here we decided to do something more direct. And in this experience, what we visualize and then experience interactively is our own minds, the very mind of the audience. That's what we wanted to do here. So in a way, it's a new kind of art, because it doesn't teach something about us indirectly through somebody else. It just directly tells you something about yourself that you can have an opinion on.
Maybe this is.
Let's watch the. So now you'll see the trailer, and then Gerhard, who has experienced a prototype today in the morning, is gonna share his experiences.
So we start. This is like the trailer for the experience that.
Yeah. This is how the experience would start for anybody. Yeah.
Have you ever experienced any of the following symptoms? Unexplained anxiety, emotional dissociation, sporadic loss of gravity, speaking in tongues? You might be suffering from the postponed afterlife syndrome, a growingly common side effect of the indefinitely extended life expectancy, so-called immortality. The delayed afterlife syndrome means one simple thing. You can eliminate death, but you can't avoid afterlife. Bardo, purgatory, the place beyond. Your postponed afterlife syndrome is treatable. The place beyond, a safe, synthetic death, afterlife, and reincarnation experience. Upload your soul into a digital afterlife, both through a synthesized cleansing process and safely reincarnate into your current existence. Find the Place Beyond hub in your neighborhood. This is the right way to die using AI.
As you see, so the Place Beyond is a fictional startup set in the near future where humanity has reached immortality but struggles with the absence of afterlife. And it's more or less an experience you can have in an interactive museum where you get to experience death, in a way, by interacting with AI. And then it collects information about you and forms a perception of your personality, which is not objective. And then based on this perception, it creates an escape room-like surrealistic space representing a soul. That's kind of the core of it. So, I don't know, Gerhard, can you tell us how was it?
I think maybe it's good to place it into the experience as you want to design it. Show it with a presentation, if that's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I'm glad to share.
Okay, let's do it then. So basically, it's a simple thing. You talk to AI. It says welcome to your death. It helps you relax. Your eyes are closed, and it takes you through the reflection of the life you're supposedly leaving as you're dying, and you speak about your life with it, and it's a bit gamified because your voice kind of brings you closer and closer to the afterlife, and then in the end it creates this kind of spaces. They're 3D generated spaces, which are also interactable, which represent your mind, okay? And depending on the... Yeah? Yeah. So depending on the where this is shown, you can, if you're alone, you can just like get this as an image, and AI can explain to you what you see, and then you can try to understand like these images. They're meaningful. They all represent different internal conflicts. Like this is David, for example, my partner. So AI basically is tasked in a pretty complicated kind of prompt to extract information about the person, like some key points. We use actually dramaturgical structure, which we know from screenwriting, internal conflict. It tries to extract it, and then it exhibits it in a surrealistic, conflict-full space. Yes, so what's important that it doesn't, this is not like, you would never get this kind of images from whatever, Midjourney or something. This is a model trained on the work of IS+F. It's a group, contemporary art group, pretty well known. So they're collaborating with us on the project, which is also important for us, that, we're not stealing the work of artists, we're actually paying the artists, and you will see in all our different images, there is a very clear artistic touch. This is, by the way, David too. You can see a couple more of examples of what this kind of system creates, depending on the person. You can see that each person is very different. Some of this images actually belong to the same person, like the last three. It's just different variations of that. And in the experience, you can, like, this is my daughter. She comes from Russia. Somehow it was picked up. I don't know what she was telling to AI. But yeah, it creates this kind of very strange images containing some conflict. And like in the full experience that we imagine, because our main idea is to help people connect with each other, you can do this with friends. And the last part of the experience is when there is a glitch in the narrative and the AI says, oops, I have forgotten which soul actually represents whom. So check it out, guys. And you just speak to your friends and you're like, I think this is you, or I think this is you. So basically that's it, I would say.
If it's okay, I would just, because it helped me when
Yeah.
I first initially, when he told me about it, to understand it a little bit better.
to
It's
show
like
her.
this, that you plan to actually build something similar to this, where people have an experience with the AI that asks you questions about your life. And then you create spaces like this where several people see images projected on the walls of what was just created, and you have to find out which one is yours and which one belongs to the persons around you, and then you solve it like a puzzle, like a escape room, where you work together to find out something about yourself presented through the images.
Exactly, and like I think when as we're talking about business models, it's very interesting that because it's AI, like it's about AI. So from the same central core, we're going to make like what you see here is more like highbrow museum experience, but we're also going to do like more commercial escape rooms where this aspect of really solving the puzzles, working against time, losing or winning as the result will be more important. And like in the end, we might even release it as just an online experience, you know, where you can play with it as a parlor game. Like Netflix, for example, does a lot of party games now. So this could be even that. And unlike classical process where you do a product for just one format, here we're going to use like the most complicated part is this part we're working on now, AI models and prompting, and then adapting it to say, oh, now you have a Halloween edition, or now you have a kid-friendly edition, or now we add this module and it goes to Asian VR rooms, which like in Asia, VR is a big, big market, unlike Europe. For example, this is very cost and time effective because, you know, this is prompting, it's much cheaper. And the hardest part is actually like intellectual part of us thinking how to do it. Yeah.
Maybe if you want to take place, I show one of my
Yeah,
images
exactly.
now.
So-
I haven't seen it yet.
But can you first say how did you feel when you talked to AI? Like just like
It was a little bit weird, to be honest.
Okay.
It's like you get your glasses on and the earphones, and then you're taken through this live action role playing thing of the experience
of dying, yeah.
of dying, yeah. And then I get an image now. Should I open it? I haven't looked at it yet.
Okay, so this is supposed to be Gerhard's personality, mind, and internal conflict, the way AI has understood him. Yeah, it does like the analysis is very complicated behind it. It doesn't involve psychoanalysis and different strategies of how you build metaphors out of Gerhard.
I think the interesting part here is definitely maybe in another setting to go deeply into how you build this and how you build how you interact with different models to come up to have like an interaction, like this conversation, and then have a model in the background that generates that images. But I think here, what I find so interesting is that you say that in terms of you have this idea, you have this tool, yet the way how to monetize it, how to build a business model out of it, is still very open. Or is it, where do you think are you mentioned the possibilities, you have now people from museums asking who saw this in Denmark where you first premiered it, asking about this as an installation, people thinking about this, that approached you thinking about this, might this be something that you do as an art piece that is then sold at a very high price and you like build 5 editions of it? So how does this influence your further work with trying to figure out what it is exactly that you have there?
Yeah. So in general, there's two main possibilities for distribution. There's the, in a way, classic immersive route, even though there's nothing classic about it because it's very much custom and the market is really emerging. So it would be in a museum. The museums, they're really focused on throughput, how many people can experience the experience at the same time, how many people are they going to be there per hour, can they experience together, is it compatible with more people or less, etc. The second option we're looking at is to make this into an art piece, because AI evolves extremely quickly. But we're right at the beginning of this AI era, so we think it's absolutely fascinating to remember what we tried to do, collectively humans tried to do, and especially renowned artists, contemporary artists like AS plus F, did at the beginning of the AI era that has artistic and historical significance. And for that reason, we are considering making 7 or unique pieces of this system and selling it to private collectors, maybe museums or maybe private individuals that would hold this piece, AI piece of art from the beginning of the era.
So,
But at the same time, like this would be step one. But I think the final step would be when this is available, like, you know, to everybody, maybe from the laptop, you can do it at home. You can buy this as a present for your, you know, wife, and like she can talk to AI, and then you can print a huge portrait of her internal world. If anybody wants to see something like this, yeah. But for us, it's more than anything is the experiment in like, because like this is now just an image, right? But it is going to be a movie. It is going to be a movie about you or with you, not necessarily in a straightforward way. Let's make a movie and put Gerhard as a protagonist. It can be, how do you feel tonight, Gerhard? Oh, you feel a bit, I don't know, lonely. Let's make a movie about a guy like you. You know, and it's not going to be at the same time a movie that's generated from scratch, just like a genius AI makes a movie. No, it will be something that artists create, but they create it as a set of rules that evolve then when Gerhard comes into play.